let's start at Hull KR. Sam Cook, what did you make of him?
I thought it was a very tough performance from both sides, really, in terms of I don't know that it was that great a spectacle. It was very intense, but I'm not sure that it was a game you'd want to necessarily rewatch. I think it was a bit too stop-start, but it probably favoured Hull KR in terms of they've obviously got that home support, and they've been the team that have sort of formulated this grinding teams down thing. Leeds have probably copied it a little bit, or maybe replicated it a little bit lately, but Hull KR are kind of the team that can really get you in that grind, and it kind of, I think Willie Peters had spoken the week that he wanted it not to be too stop-start because he can kind of get the fatigue out, but I think Robin still managed to do that, and obviously, I mean, there's the late try, but it was quite comfortable in terms of Saints not really threatening the line, but equally, there wasn't much that Hull KR really created. I mean, there's the Mikey Lewis 40-20, and then he created the assist, but barring that, I think they didn't offer too much going forward, which has been a bit of a trend. So a win, which is important, especially going into next week and potentially winning the League Leaders' Shield, but you're looking at it and thinking that they're not quite on the form that all the other playoff contenders are. So I think there's still a lot to be seen in these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, do you think that's just a case of burnout after going full tilt for the entire season?
I think probably, yeah. And I think they've not necessarily had that spine solid for the past few weeks. They've had changes with Moore coming into the half when May was banned. Lewis obviously missed that game after his failed HIA against Leeds. And I think just little tweaks and changes haven't necessarily helped, but also, yeah, the fact that it's been such a long season for them. And obviously you can see now what effect that's having on Warrington. So I think it's understandable that Hull KR are maybe having just a little bit of a low period, but the fact that they're still winning in games like this is something that Willie Peters will take great solace in.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Willie Peters after the game, and he said that he wasn't particularly concerned about the lack of attack, even though they've only scored a try in each of the last 3 games. But it was something he'd be looking towards. He can take a lot out of the fact that Mikey Lewis just came up with the goods late on, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's when he was referencing the fatigue. He said that he wanted it to be a game where there was a lot drained out, and then he was going to look towards Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May to create something at the end. And I think in the defeat to Leeds, I mean, they were well off it, but Mikey Lewis misses a 40-20 by about a foot or so. It really wasn't much I think that was in the first half potentially. And you think if that comes in, then how much does that change the game? And obviously it's a piece of skill that's hard to execute, but he's got it right the week after, and he's kind of made up for it. And obviously, like, that Leeds game was a complete write-off after that point, but the fact that he's come out and done it, and he's maybe silenced a few people because he wasn't massively active during the game, but that final 20 minutes where it was a little bit tetchy and edgy, he's done something, and I think they can take great confidence in that because you've seen how grand finals are won. They're won by one moment, one try, and if Mikey Lewis can make that one moment, that's all you really need him to do.
Yeah, and I thought Jez Litten was absolutely superb in that game as well. He made 40-plus tackles. He wasn't that much of a live wire on the ruck, but in terms of his overall performance coming up against Darrell Clark, if you're treating that as an England audition, if Sean Lane was watching, I think Jez Litten was the best hooker on the pitch. Pete, I know you watched that game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I thought it was I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was quite a dull contest, I must admit. I mean, 20 minutes to go when I saw what was happening at Warrington, I turned over. I think that Hull KR, I think it was a very good win for Hull KR in terms of their response to the previous week when they were totally outplayed by Leeds. I don't think they were ever in that game. I know what Sam's saying about the 40-20, but I don't think that Hull KR were ever anywhere near to Leeds. Leeds were a level above. So to come back with that sort of response, I think it's very good. And you're at the stage of the season now where it's just winning that matters. And obviously Hull KR have got that back. They're not looking as dominant as they were a few weeks ago, but other than the Leeds game, they are still winning. That's important. I think their big players can play better. I think the big players will play better when it gets to the business end or the knockout games that are coming up.